first is registered dietitian Gloria Cabral. Gloria Cabral has been with us now for almost 2 years. How long have you been at Care Resource for?
Like a year. Yeah, close enough.
Okay. Well, over a year. We're very blessed to have her. When people think Care Resource, they think a lot of things, but moving forward, when you think Care Resource, I want you guys to think that we are your medical home. We are the medical home for all those most in need here in South Florida. We do primary care, dental care, pediatric care, nutrition, and so much more. We have offices here in Miami Beach, Little Havana, Fort Lauderdale, and Midtown Miami. And we provide competent, compassionate, and committed care. Gloria Cabral is our registered dietitian, and she's primarily based out of our office in Little Havana, and she's going to be spearheading a new program called
Eat Smart, Feel Amazing.
Eat Smart, Feel Amazing. And it's our way of combating malnutrition here in South Florida. We realized that this is the first generation ever where young people are living shorter lives than their parents. Usually with every generation people get older, right? But this is the first time ever the generation lives less than the generation that came before them. And that's prevalent here in Miami. So we're injecting some good eating habits as a way to increase overall community health. And thank you, Gloria, and we're very happy to be here at Elevate. Gloria.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that introduction, and thank you all for being here. It's a small, nice group, so if you have any questions along the way, you can raise your hand, we can answer them. My workshop today is called Eat Smart, Feel Amazing, Simple Changes for a Lifetime of Health. My goal today is to give you practical information about nutrition that you can hopefully implement in your day-to-day lives, okay? If it's that you're looking to lose weight, maintain weight, eat better if you're starting to exercise. So hopefully these are some basics. Think of it like your nutrition 411 to start those steps, and hopefully you can, change your lifestyle, even if it's with small steps, okay? We are going to, first of all, we're going to talk about the importance of a healthy diet. I'm sure we've heard tons of information, right, about all the benefits. I'm going to touch point a little bit on that. Second of all, we're going to learn how to build a healthy meal without counting calories, because who wants to do that, right?
Okay.
And then our snacks to prevent anxiety and boost energy. I feel like anxiety is such a big word. Everybody's anxious. Everybody eats because they're anxious. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, okay? Everybody feels fatigued. Everybody's anxious. That's why I eat. It's kind of like a cycle, and I feel like I always see that in my patients. So we're going to touch point a little bit on that. And then finally, we're going to do smoothies the right way. And I'm going to do a demo, and we're going to be able to try the smoothie. So same thing. I always get so many questions about smoothies. Should I use them for detox? Should I use them as a snack, as a meal supplement, for weight loss? So we're going to touch point a little bit on that, okay? For starters, like I said, we all know the benefits of nutrition. I did want to point out some very specific things just so you know that it's not just about looking good, about feeling great. It's also about preventing diseases. Like Jonathan was saying, our generation, we are basically being outlived by our parents. Obesity is so big right now. All of these studies are, I'm going to be very brief on them. They're all studies done by the CDC, by the National Institute of Diabetes. If you want some specific names, you can come back afterwards and I'll show you the studies so you can have more information. Just, for example, this first one, it shows us 11 pounds above our healthy weight. So for every 11 pounds above our healthy weight, that increases our risk for cardiovascular disease by 14% and our risk for ischemic stroke by 16%. That's 11 pounds. If it's 33 pounds above your healthy weight, that's about 50% chance of increase in getting those diseases. In the information that I printed out for you, you have a chart so you can check out your BMI, see if you're overweight, if you're obese, okay, if you're in one of those high-risk categories. So you can start, thinking about if it's something that that you should be doing, okay? Weight loss of about 5% of your body weight. This is for my diabetics, for my high cholesterol people. I'm sure some of you may have been diagnosed with some of these things or know somebody that has, family members. There's so many people that have been diagnosed with these. Just 5% weight loss of your current body weight will help you reduce the blood sugar levels and the triglycerides. And finally, prediabetes. That's such a big one. I see it so much in Care Resource. We have patients that just come in for their routine labs. They're diagnosed with prediabetes, and they send them to me. We start losing weight. Just by losing about 10% of your body weight, you can reduce the chance of getting diabetes, and I see it. They lose weight and their labs are fine. They're no longer pre-diabetic. We've prevented something that is very expensive. You have to take a lot of medications, and then it becomes a very tedious diet for you to do, okay? And the other benefits, we all know, feeling great, great skin, your hair gets better, all those good things. You have more energy. So that's that. Now, we are gonna talk about building your plate, okay? So a very basic way of building our plate, making sure that we are eating right without counting the calories, because it's very tedious, right? Can anybody tell me what the 3 major food groups are that we need in our meals? 3 big ones.
Protein,
Yes?
Fat,
Yes?
carbohydrate.
Exactly. Perfect. So those are our 3 food groups. We need all of them, okay? Protein, we all know, helps us maintain our muscle mass. Not only that, protein also helps us maintain our bone mass. For my older adults, we want to eat that protein. It's not just about the calcium, it's not just about the vitamin D. We need that protein. Another thing with protein that people do not know is that protein is the food group that makes us feel fuller for longer, okay? It's not fat. A lot of people think it's fat. It's actually protein. I got a lot of patients that don't eat breakfast or skip their breakfast or just have a toast, and then I feel anxious the whole day, and then by 10 a.m. I'm already eating. Well, you're not getting that protein. You're not getting that fullness effect in the morning, okay? Our carbs, they're not the enemy. We need carbs. They are the fuel for our brains, or the fuel for our hearts, okay? We need the carbs. Carbs have fiber, okay? So we're gonna prefer the whole grains. Fiber helps us with constipation. It also helps us decrease sugar levels, cholesterol levels, and it also helps us feel fuller for longer. And our fruits and our vegetables are carbohydrates. So that's why this group is so important also. Carbs is not only the potato, the rice, right, all of those things. It's also the fruits and the vegetables. And finally, we have our fats. Same thing, fats are not the enemy. We need the fats. We're just gonna prefer the plant-based fats, which are the healthier fats. Okay, these help us maintain our hormone balance. If we don't have enough fat deposits in our body, we don't produce hormones, okay? So these are important. And they also help with maintaining our heart healthy, because those good fats, those plant-based fats, help us increase the good cholesterol and decrease the bad cholesterol, which helps us protect our heart, okay? Now, this is one of my favorite things, because it is very simple. You can apply it to any of your meals, anything that you eat, okay? Very simple, very easy to see, right? This is our plate, okay? Like we said, protein. Protein, we need it for our muscles, we need it for our bones, and we need it for that fullness effect. Protein is gonna be about 1/4 of your plate, right? It's gonna be about your palm. It's gonna be your 3 ounces of chicken, right? Your beef, your lean cuts of pork, your fish, okay? That's going to be your protein. For my vegetarians, I know that I have some here. Soy, tempeh, your beans have protein. Eggs also have protein, okay? We need that protein in our 3 meals. If for breakfast you're not having your protein, most likely you will be hungry earlier in the morning, and at the same time, if you're not having your protein in your 3 meals a day and you're exercising, it's harder for you to maintain or build your muscle mass, if that's what you want to do. And same thing for my older adults. If you don't have your protein in those 3 meals, then your bones, okay, they're not gonna, it's not just the calcium, they also need the protein to be able to maintain the bone mass, okay? Carbohydrates, the enemy, right? These carbohydrates, they're a little bit tricky, right? First of all, we would prefer them to be whole grains. Whole grains will have the fiber, right, that we talked about. Things like quinoa, brown rice, whole grain bread, things like that. Doesn't mean that you can never have white rice, you can. But we will always maintain it within that 1/4 of a cup. I get a lot of patients that tell me, oh, but I eat quinoa. So they think that since they eat quinoa, they can eat all the quinoa they want or all the brown rice that they want. No, it's still a carbohydrate. We still want to maintain it at about 1/4 of our plate, okay? And these vegetables, these are the very important factor in this plate that will help us control the other portions. Why? Well, believe it or not, 1 cup of vegetables will fill you the same as 1 cup of carbohydrate. Also, those vegetables will have the fiber that helps us give that fullness effect also. They have the vitamins, they have the minerals, and for those of you who are trying to maintain weight or lose weight, 1 cup of vegetables, any type of vegetable, has less than 50 calories. 1 cup of any type of carbohydrate, doesn't matter if it's potatoes, if it's plantain, if it's quinoa, if it's brown rice versus white rice, it's still going to have about 200 and 250 calories, okay? So we're getting the same fullness effect for a lot less calories, and then we're getting all the vitamins, we're getting the fiber, we're getting all that good stuff, okay? Now, the fats. Where do we leave the fats? The fats, we're going to use them either for cooking, a little bit, right? A teaspoon, or use the spray. We can use them on our salads or our vegetables. We can use them as avocado, 1/4 or 1/2 of an avocado, and those plant-based fats, so those good fats, okay? We're going to avoid the animal fats because those are higher in the bad fats, okay? These vegetables, I get people that tell me, oh, but you know, they get damaged quickly, they don't last long, they can be frozen, they can be canned even, if you look for the low sodium, the low salt versions. Any way that you can get those vegetables in, that's what we should be doing for lunch and for dinner. Even for breakfast, let's say you made an omelet, you want to add some spinach and some onions to that, perfect. There's never enough, okay? So you can always keep on adding. What I really love about this plate method is that anything that you eat, you can look at it and you know if you're eating well or not. For example, I have people that tell me, oh, but I only like to eat a sandwich for dinner. Okay, if we look at a sandwich, our bread is going to be our carbohydrate, right? We're going to prefer the whole grain bread. Let's say we added some turkey to that sandwich. That's going to be our protein. What is our sandwich missing? We're going to put some lettuce and tomatoes, some spinach in it. Let's say we had a soup for dinner. Same thing, we did chicken and noodle soup. Well, I know that my noodles are going to be not more than 1/4 of my plate, which is going to be about a handful. My chicken, same thing, it's going to be about my chicken breast. What is my soup missing? I'm going to put some mushrooms in it, I'm going to put carrots, I'm going to put my vegetables. That way you have one small meal, and it's all in there. For my vegan and vegetarians, same thing. Add your vegetables as a base, your kale, your spinach, whatever you want. You can add your protein as either beans and rice or quinoa, beans, and then the rest is going to be you can add those healthy fats, the hummus or the avocado, and the rest of your vegetables. You can combine the whole thing, make a nice bowl, make it different, take one of those big scissors, cut everything up, and you have a nice bowl, okay? Any questions so far? Good? Okay, now we're gonna talk about the snacks. Same thing. I have people that, oh, but I'm eating 3, 4, 5 times a day, I should be losing weight, I'm having my snacks, they tell me that increases my metabolism. The snacks, we have to be careful with them, okay? We want the snack to be not more than about 1/3 of a meal, maybe half of a meal, okay? Another way that we are going to control these snacks, okay, is with this combination. I love this combination, and I'll tell you why. Because this is what's going to help us feel fuller a little bit longer. That's what we want from our snack. And then we also want to have that sustained energy. We don't want to have a fruit that I'm going to be hungry in half an hour. We want something that will keep you full and give you a nice boost of energy, okay? If we use this combination, so we're gonna do a healthy fat or protein, for example, our nuts, our seeds, or our peanut butter, or almond butter, it can be avocado, it can be Greek yogurt. But instead of doing it by itself, we can combine it with a fruit, a vegetable, or something that's a good carbohydrate, so a whole wheat bread, for example. That way we get the fullness from the protein, we get the steady energy from the fat, because we're not going to burn it as quickly, and then we get the fiber from the fruit, that same thing, is going to help us feel fuller for longer, and it's going to be low calorie, right? So, and then same thing with this, the trick is in the portions. So let's say our nuts or seeds, it's going to be about 1/4 of a cup. It's going to be about that. If you're going to do the nut butter, it's going to be about 1 tablespoon. Your fruit is going to be either 1 fruit, right, or 1 cup of fruit. A lot of people ask me, oh, so I can eat bananas. Yes, you can eat bananas. It's not going to make a difference. The issue with the fruit is that we don't want it to be a whole bowl of fruit. And same thing with the fruit, we want to use it as a snack. Avoid the juices, things like that, okay? Let's say you have an orange. We eat that orange and we're good with that orange, right? It has the fiber, it has the fullness effect. Okay. If that orange, you take it and you squeeze it, what do you get? You get about this much juice. So if you're drinking a glass of orange juice, how many oranges are you eating? And that's the issue with the fruit juices. That it can be a lot of sugar, even though it's natural sugar, it's a lot of sugar, and a glass of orange juice is going to be about 200, 250 calories. That instead you could be eating, okay? So the fruit, unless you're making your smoothie, which we're going to talk about, it's better for you to have it as a fruit. Some examples of these combinations, your avocado toast, you have the good fat, the steady energy, you have the whole grain bread, that fiber. Let's say you have your peanut butter with your fruit, same thing, you have the protein, you have the good fats, you have the fiber from the fruit. Popcorn is great, you can mix it with some nuts within your portions. Same thing, the hummus with the vegetables, the good fat, some protein, your fiber. Same thing with the Greek yogurt and the fruit. Same thing with the nuts and the fruit. So if you have, let's say, a handful of nuts and that's it, you're probably going to still be hungry. If you have the nuts plus the fruit, you're going to be okay. And it's going to give you more of that lasting effect, okay? And then for my guys, usually 2 snacks a day, okay? For my girls, usually 1 snack a day. If you're exercising a lot or if you're feeling very hungry, then you can do the 2 also, okay? Or you can use 1 and then split it in 2. Same thing, have fruit and a little bit of nuts and then later do the same thing. Finally, we're gonna go to our smoothies, okay? So I get so many questions about these smoothies. They can be great, but then they can also be not so great, okay? The trick with the smoothie, okay, is what you want that smoothie for. If you want that smoothie to supplement a meal, if you're gonna eat it instead of a meal, what do we want that smoothie to have? I've been saying it the whole day, the protein, right? Because we need that protein in our 3 meals, and we need that filling effect from the protein. If our smoothie doesn't have the protein, most likely it's not going to get us through the next meal, okay? This protein, it can be the peanut butter, it can be the almond butter, it can be any plant-based protein powders for my vegans, okay? Hemp seed powder or pea powder, rice powder. It can be low-fat milk, it can be Greek yogurt, okay? If you're into, you know, the superfoods, chia seeds, hemp seeds, these have complete proteins. They also have the fiber, okay? So you're gonna want to add that to your smoothie. Vegetables are going to be your main ingredient there. If you're a person who doesn't like vegetables, this is a great way to include them and make sure that you're eating your 4 cups of vegetables a day. Believe it or not, spinach, kale, once you put it in that smoothie, you'll barely feel it. And it doesn't have to be those green leafy vegetables. It can be anything you like. A lot of people add beets to it, carrots to it. You can play around with the textures. The fruit. The fruit, it's natural sugar, but it's still sugar. Okay, so that fruit, we're gonna limit it to either 1 fruit, any fruit you want, or a cup of fruit. So if you're using berries, it's gonna be about a handful of berries. If you're using pineapple and apples, it's gonna be about a cup of that, okay? These freebies, okay, these are things that you can add to add flavor. I like sweet, so I usually will add either stevia or Splenda or something to it to give it more sweetness. Cocoa powder, if you're doing banana, peanut butter, and some vegetables, the cocoa powder, really good, gives it a great taste. You can add coconut water, you can add coffee, you can add cinnamon. Anything that you like that doesn't have calories, you can add for flavor, okay? And then you can always boost your smoothies with superfoods like the chia, the hemp, the moringa, okay? But same thing, we're gonna be careful with this not to add everything, because if we add everything, all of those little things have calories in them. So if you're looking for something, you want something with a lot of antioxidants, but also want the protein, then you can add the chia seeds, for example, or you can add the moringa. But just be mindful that it's gonna be more calories. So your base is gonna be your vegetables and your fruit, if you want it as a snack. If you want it as a meal, then we're gonna make sure that we add that protein to it, okay? Any questions?